In today's video, I'm talking about some of the Formlabs resin again, but unlike the Creator Tough that I talked about last time, this time we're going to be talking about the Creator Super Clear. With that, let's get going. So I'm going to cover how it is to use this resin, how clear it is, a little bit on how tough it is, and just kind of how it is to print, assemble models, and all that fun stuff. And I'm going to keep this video kind of high level. I'm not going to get too nerdy, but I do want to talk about how it is to use this resin, calibrate it, print with it, little models, big models, and a few things I kind of discovered on the way. So the first thing is I printed this one girl right here who's missing her top half. Here she is. Now, what I really want to do with this model is I actually wanted to color it, but I'm not very good at painting. And I've seen some people do like some airbrushing, where they're like, airbrushing looks really, really cool. I wanted to show you what she looks like before I painted it, in case when I do try to paint it, I do a really bad job and it looks terrible. But so first, this is just being held together with some putty, and it came together pretty well. As far as clear resins, personally, I'm not a huge fan of using clear resins because they have a tendency to bloom on X, Y, and Z. They can be a lot harder to dial in, a little harder to use, and just overall not as accurate. However, with this resin, I actually had really not a hard time at all. I actually printed a lot of my boxes of calibration with different settings, different versions of light off delay, before, after, all sorts of things. And they all, once I got the UV time dialed in, they all actually fit really, really well. I got pretty much an average of 9 or 10 out of 10 pillars, with the boxes remaining dimensionally accurate all the time. Some of that I think has to do with how long this resin takes to cure. This resin takes, like the other Creative, kind of a long time to cure. I printed it on 2 separate machines. One machine I used is the GK3 Pro. That's because that printer has a 385 nanometer UV light. If you don't know what that is, it's just lower on the spectrum, and it doesn't penetrate as deeply into the resin. That can be really important for something like clear. The other printer that I used is the Athena 2. I use this printer because it has an incredibly power UV light, but it's running at 405 like almost all of our printers we use at home as well. Now, the difference of UV exposure time between the GK3 Pro, which has the 385 and a much weaker UV light, and the Athena 2 is 1.5 seconds per layer, which for most resins, about 1.5 seconds or 2 seconds is about what you're going to expose it entirely. But for this particular resin, I'm doing 6.6 seconds on the Athena and 7.5 seconds on the GK3 Pro. So just kind of a difference there on these two particular printers. And here's some pictures right here so you can see the difference between 385 and 405. Now remember, the 385 was actually exposed longer, so it should have had more time for that Z blooming to kind of cause an issue. But let's pay attention right here to the little square dot on the lower left. It's filled in completely, except for where I used more light off delay. I got it to open up a little bit, but that's 10 seconds overall of light up delay on top of a 7.5 second UV exposure, or sorry, on top of for this particular one, the 6 second UV exposure time. On the 385, you can see that these first 2 holes are open, kind of slowly closing in. Below that, everything's closed in. As I said before, transparent resins, they're inherently just harder to print. Now also keep in mind, because this resin takes a long time to print, there's really a lot of kind of built-in light off delay. Like I said, normally you're gonna start curing your resin. It's gonna take about 2 seconds per layer. This one at 1 second or 2 seconds or 3 seconds is gonna be relatively uncured, and it's gonna take much, much longer for that thing to get fully cured up. But going up a little bit did give me a little bit better accuracy, although diminishing returns at a point. I ended up settling around 4 to 5 seconds light off delay just because this resin is very, very thick. And that got me really, really good results. To the point where when I was done printing this model, very little sanding was done to get her legs in, but most everything else went in without any issue whatsoever. All right, so for the next thing, let's talk about this super clear part of the title. And what does that mean? Well, if you don't know, in order to get something transparent or clear, it has to have a really fine surface. Any scratches is going to make it look cloudy. So you can take a resin like this one and you can sand it and polish it, and you can give it a really clear glass-like texture. That takes a really long time, and I really wasn't in the mood to go through and try to sand something down to make it look really, really clear. But the other part about that is yellowing. You'll see that these are very white, clear, I guess you could say. There's basically no yellowing at all. If you're used to most clear resins, or at least a lot of the clear resins we've been dealing with for a long time, as you expose them to UV light, they'll turn more yellow over time. And these don't do that. This is a guy that was printed many, many months ago, probably about 6 months ago, with an earlier version of this resin. You could call it like a beta version. He has very, very minor yellowing despite sitting up in a windowsill for, like I said, maybe 6 months or so. And even then, it's a slightly older formula. The newer formula should even have less yellowing than this guy, if any at all. I exposed this guy right here, this flame, on my unfinished human torch. I exposed this under UV light in my cure station for 30 minutes to see if I could get any yellowing out of it, where I exposed her for 10 minutes. And I don't think there's any difference at all between the two colors. It's not yellowing, it's staying quite bright. Now, if you want to get a shiny surface, that's something else you can do besides sanding, because sitting there sanding and polishing, again, for me, I don't have a lot of time. That sucks. But there's another way to get around that. And that's where I printed some chest pieces out of this resin. Now, this one has been just coated with a clear coat. Well, I guess not those ones, but these ones right here. I did about half of them in a clear coat and half of them not. And you can definitely see there is a difference between the ones that have been coated and haven't been coated. They're quite a bit shinier, quite a bit glossier. And even then, a couple more coats on these things, or like a quick sanding would even polish them up even more. However, these ones have some bubbles inside of it. And maybe that's my fault. Maybe after pouring the resin, I didn't wait long enough for the bubbles to subside, or maybe there's another way to get bubbles out. You can let me know in the comments if there's a way to make sure they don't get bubbles. But most of my pieces have some bubbles in them. You could say that overall is going to decrease the amount of like transparency you can get through it. But some of these pieces I think turned out really, really well. Even the ones where I didn't coat them in clear coat, they've kind of got like I actually kind of like the look of them, where it's this like a foggy glass look. I don't know, everything needs to be super shiny and polished. Sometimes just even that look looks really good. And because I wanted to have a little bit of fun, I bought some of these colors right here. These are like resin colors from Decorum. I'll put a link in the description. And it comes with lots of colors. You can have quite a bit of fun with this one. My daughter loves pink, and I told her I'd print her some like pink jewels. So I actually printed the chest set again in pink. So we've got white and pink, and I think the pink turned out really, really fun. She actually really loves them. I told her she can't play with them yet until I'm done filming this video. So me making this video is preventing her from having fun with these pieces. Now, of course, my 5-year-old daughter is gonna be playing with them. I'm gonna go through and clear coat all of them, even though I kind of don't mind the hazy look to them. I think she likes the more polished look better. But also I just don't want her playing with resin with her bare hands, as that's not necessarily the safest thing to do. And real quick, there's one thing that I noticed. When I added the pigmentation to this, it didn't change the UV exposure time at all. So I could go through and make a bunch of little batches of it with the different colors, and I don't have to worry about like recalibrating again. They're all gonna be exactly the same. So I think I'll go through and do a bunch of colors and make some little more gems and diamonds for my daughter, as well as probably finish the rest of my chest piece. It's kind of missing some pieces here. This is all I have. But on that note of safety and UV cure time, there's still something kind of special about the Formlabs resin. I want to take a moment to talk about that. So this resin, just like the Creator Tough, is ACMO free. Now, what does that mean, ACMO free, and why do we care? Well, we care because that makes the resin much, much safer to handle and to print at home. If you're printing at home, there's a lot of chemicals in resin, and some of them we know a lot about, and some of them, well, we don't know as much about, or at least we don't know how they're gonna work in a long time, running at home. These chemicals have been used in engineering for a long time, but not really in the home environment for a long time. This whole industry is really, really new, and we're just kind of learning things as we go. But that ACMO chemical is one of the worst ones that we do know about, and this one being free from it does have only one drawback. That drawback is, of course, the longer cure time. But the positive, of course, being much, much safer to handle, to be around. Of course, you still want to wear gloves. You still want to wear a respirator when you're cleaning it and dealing with it, because there's still going to be VOCs and other dangerous things in the resin. It's just going to be much, much safer than what you're used to. Even the final product, when you're done with it, is just going to be safer to handle, where it doesn't have that chemical in it. But real quick, let's kind of talk about the pros and cons here, and let's add some context. Of course, the pro being it does stay very, very white and clear, despite being exposed to the sun for a very long time, or being cured in my very powerful cure station for a very long time. As far as toughness, it does have a very hard surface toughness, but it's like It's almost like, like any acrylic or anything like that one. It's much, much more fragile. I'm not putting it in my big breaker machine here like I did for the other resin. And that's because this stuff, it's not as strong. And I don't think that's really necessarily what it's designed or meant for, is to be something like tough, to kind of say, I'm going to talk about whatever I want. I did print this guy's arms. Like I said, it's still missing his top torso. I ran out of resin. But I dropped this hand right here about 4 feet, and I lost all of his fingers. Every single one of them just busted right off. So he's got his thumb, but he's got no fingers. They're all right here. And so yes, it's a very, very hard surface. It's not going to scratch, but it's much more brittle and doesn't have the same elasticity that the other resin has. But again, that's not really its point. Its point is to be a clear, transparent resin. Now, of course, the other drawback is being that long exposure time. If you don't know, the longer it takes to cure a layer, the more the UV light is on and the quicker your LCD is going to break down. Your LCD is considered a replaceable part in your resin 3D printer. You will probably have to replace it a few times within your lifespan, which for most people is going to be a couple years. They're not too expensive. They've definitely come down in price a lot. But using this resin is going to, of course, consume more of that life a little bit quicker because of that long exposure time. However, we're starting to see some changes within the desktop printing space. And that is new LCDs that are using more of a yellow crystal than the traditional, the black one that we've seen on everything else. Now, these ones are supposed to last significantly longer, kind of to the point to where these longer exposure resins that are much safer, or, in examples of this Creator Tough, much, much tougher than a lot of the resins we've been dealing with. If we start seeing these LCDs hit the market, I don't think it's really going to matter that we're using resins that are using chemicals that are much, much safer to deal with. For me personally, I would actually like to see the industry go that direction. So Formlabs, if you're watching this one, maybe you should make a printer that kind of gets into this hobbyist space, let's say under $1,000, open to Lychee slicer, and can use all of these resins, including your own, using these LCDs that last much longer. And because they last much longer, you can put a UV engine in them that is much, much more powerful. So we can take these long cure times, drop 2 or 3 seconds off of them and really kind of get the benefit of everything. That's really where I'd like to see this entire industry go. And this is this is new resin out from Formlabs. So as far as I can see, maybe it will go that direction in the future. And this is just the beginning of what we're seeing as an entirely new direction in the desktop resin 3D printing space. And since I kind of got back on the topic of 3D printers again, I want to hit back again on that 385 versus the 405. Now, these white ones were printed at the 385 and the pink ones were printed at the 405. Now, they look really nice right now because I went through and I kind of sanded the base of these things, give them a nice, not necessarily polish, but a nice finish on them. But when they came out of the printer, they were very, very different. And you can see is that the pink ones, there's a lot more what we call Z blooming or pillowing. If you've tried printing with clear resins or transparent resins in the past, you've probably seen this, and this is really hard to deal with. One of the best ways to deal with it is, of course, increase your height. If you try printing at 30 go up to 50, and if you're not too concerned about detail, you can even try and go up to 60. That will help. Increasing the temperatures a little bit can help out, but for the most part, there's not much you can do about it. As you can see, the best thing we can do about it is actually to switch printers to one using a 385 nanometer UV light. Of course, if you don't have one, there are ways to get around it. And this one, I just sanded it down, and in the end, they look exactly the same. And the amount of work to get through each one was also very, very similar. But just keep that in mind when you're using transparent resins. It's one of the things you're going to have to deal with. And now this is where I want to know your opinion in the comments. Should I paint her like I kind of try to do with his legs and what I'll eventually do when I get his torso printed? You can see I tried to do some flames here, and I did a little bit of blue, and then I airbrushed some silver over it. I can't say I'm necessarily happy with the way it looks, but also I really suck at painting. So this is, it's not maybe the peak of my skill, but it's approaching it. So should I try painting her as well? Or should I just leave her like this? If you think I should paint her, let me know in the comments down below, as well as maybe give me some tips or some ideas on what I can do to make it look not terrible. If I end up painting her, I'll post some pictures in an upcoming video. Maybe even I'll make a video on how a noob, went through and tried to paint a transparent model. If you think that's fun, again, let me know in the comments down below. And I think that about covers it for this one. So if you could, please like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to our YouTube channel. It helps out a lot for me to continue making videos like this, where I show off my terrible painting skills. And as always, thank you for watching, and have a good day.